It's the Dino Wells Show. Thank you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dino Wells here. Ep.5 of the Dino Wells Show, and I'm talking about your relationship with your children. You know, as a father or mother or whatever the case may be, I'm talking about the relationship and the rapport that you have with your child. Um, with my journey and my life coming up before I even had kids, when I was in this boxing, doing this boxing thing and everything like that, you know, my oldest child, who's not here with us anymore, I didn't even know I had a child at first, and when I did find out I had a child, then that changed the dynamics of my life, and then we ended up having another child, which is my daughter, and from that point, that relationship with my two kids' mom didn't work out, and then I ended up having another relationship, and then had a kid, my son, who's now 15. Then relationship with his mom didn't work out, and then my last child, which is he's 13. Okay, so and that relationship didn't work out. So with that being said, when you have seed spread throughout, if you're a man and you're in a relationship either with your child's mom, or if you're not in a relationship with your child's mom, aka baby mother, the thing is, you have to do what you got to do to be in that kid's life, no matter what the circumstances is, when it comes to the relationship with your child's mom. And this is vice versa as well. So, it's vice versa as with the ladies as well. But situations that happen in life, as I think about it, like especially in mine, having kids by different moms, and doing this industry journey and being out of my kid's life, and it rubbed my daughter the wrong way through this whole entire journey. And it's not like I intentionally wanted our relationship to be in the disarray as it is, but it is what it is. My daughter, she feels some type of way about me, but she has these fickle emotions. And, it bothers me. Yeah, it does. Sometimes I just get into this I don't give a fuck mode, because why try when she just going to constantly bash me about the past or things I couldn't control. That's how I feel about it sometimes. And then when I'm trying to put a concerted effort to be in her life and be that father to her, she always keep putting that brick wall in between us. No matter how good it seemed like we work out good, and then something don't go her way, and then we go in disarray. When I built a relationship with my youngest son, by way of when the bell rings, that was the best thing that happened in my life. Because I got a chance to be in his life, and then I got a chance to meet my middle son, who I have custody of. At the time, I didn't have custody of him, but his mom made it every bit of hard for me to spend time with him and talk to him and just do, the father and son thing. And then years passed after filming When the Bell Rings, my documentary, directed by Brad Boris, produced by Meta World Peace. I, got custody of my son now. He did some ill things for me for him to come here though, but not discussing all the personal stuff. But at the same time, he made things frustrated for his mom for him to come to me. So That was kind of, you know, it worked out. I have him. I love him. It's a knucklehead, but I love him. I love all my kids, even my knucklehead asshole of a daughter. And yeah, I said it. Anyway, I sometimes when I was coming up and I'm out of my kids' lives and I see men with their kids and I get into an instant depression right off the rip. I remember when I was living in L.A. riding on the bus, sitting on the bus, and I see a man with his kids, daughter and son or whatever, and I'm sitting there looking. My eyes start watering because I wish that would be me. You know what I mean? I said, man, I wish that was me. When I had custody of my oldest son, well, I didn't have custody of him. When I had my oldest son before my mom took him, I had him with me at all times. Like when I was training, working. I was working at a donut shop, and he was with me at the donut shop when I didn't have a babysitter. He was with the babysitter. I was always thinking about him. I was thinking about my daughter. She had our daughter, and I had my son. And I would think about my daughter all the time, too. My daughter said some things to me today. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But at the same time, I think about it. And think about the games that's been played over the years and the years and years. And it's like, well, why even bother if, she told me, she said I'm not her dad. Back in the days, that would have hurt it. That would really stick a dagger in my heart. But at the same time, I know she's just lashing out because whatever the case. And what if any funny percentage that she isn't my child after all these years? But like I said, I know she's mine. Fuck, she looked like me when I was a baby, so when she was a baby, she looked like me. But at the same time, if she wasn't mine, that would be fucking crazy. But like I said, she just lash out when she don't get her way. She talk to me in the kind of way. But when my career get on top of the game, she gonna probably want to be daughter now. And then at the time, I think when that time come, when my career get to that level where I have more comfortability, I believe when she do finally come out her shell and out of that bullshit she's doing, it's going to be a little bit too late because I done tried, went to the song and dance, and I don't trust it. You know what I mean? I don't know. People say, that's your daughter still. It's your daughter. You got a grandchild. I do for my grandchild, but my daughter, she says so much hateful shit to me. And, just, like I said, words don't bother me, man. It really don't. But it does hurt a little bit. At the same time, where I'm trying so hard to really want her in my life and my grandchild and just do things. But at the same time, like I said, it's just annoying where when she wants stuff and she's crying out for me and I can't comply. Like I'm not there because I just don't have it like that as of yet. And that sometimes I feel she's jealous because I'm spending time with the boys. But they're here. I even offered for her to come down here with me. Come stay with me. I have my own crib, Dad. Well, she called me David now. But like I said, I don't care. It's my real name. It's my government name. Dino is my nickname. She calls me my government name because, I don't like to be called my government name. So she said to try to egg me. to get under my skin. I don't let that get to me, though, like I said. Now you come to my middle son. I spoken on the last one, on my last episode when I said that he did the ultimate disrespect to me yesterday, and that really hurted me. That hurted my soul. It really did. How he just did straight disrespect me, my authority as a man, as a boxing coach, as a father. And, we had a talk. Well, I talked. He didn't really say shit to me, but we had a semi-talk today. And I just let him know how I felt. Let him know how bogus and how fucked up that was what he did. And how pissed off I am still at that. I don't do nothing to try to hurt him or nobody. I've been in this boxing thing for some years. I've been out for a long time, but it's like riding a bike. And when I'm teaching them, like I said, I don't know. That boy is something else. And then my youngest son, he always calls me at the oddest times where I don't have my phone around me. And I know he feel like I'm egging him when I'm not. He calls me at the oddest times. And I'm like, when I don't have my phone around me and I look and I have a missed call from him, then when I call, we doing phone tag. We play the phone tag game. So I'm like, wow. But I'm not egging him, so I had to hit his mom up to let him know, like, look, tell him I love him. I'm not egging him. I don't have my phone when he called me. Like, he calls me at the weirdest times, and when I don't have the phone around me, and then he catch me on Facebook, and I'm not, it's just crazy. But I believe he understands. He knows, but he know he can call and talk to me anytime. He can talk to me anytime. But you just have to have that relationship with your kid, though. You got to build that relationship with your child, and nurture them, show them that you love them, and all that. And I try my best with all of them, especially my daughter. But she doesn't. I believe she doesn't believe it. I don't know. But I really, as a parent, you have to really, really, do what you have to do to comfort your kids and make sure your kids have it. So when they become parents, they can, do what they do. My son told me today that when he have kids, he's going to let them do what they want. Whatever they want to do, they can do it. I told him, you going to have them little motherfuckers over at my house. You're going to have them run around do what they want to do. It's negative. They going to run straight over you. You know what I mean? You don't let kids do what they want to do. I'm going to let them do what you saying that now because you're 15 years old. Wait till you get 20 and 25 and you have your first child. And then when they get older and all that stuff like that, you'll change your tune then. I'm not super strict. Like when I was a kid, my mom was major strict on me. I couldn't really do nothing. I couldn't do too much of anything. My brother had a little bit more freedom than I did when I was coming up. My brother had a lot of freedom. A lot more freedom. I didn't say he had a lot of freedom, but he had a lot more freedom than I had. At least girls could have called the house and talked to him. I couldn't have girls call me at the house. And my brother and I was raised by my mom, my grandma, my aunties. So we really never had no male figure in our life. My brother never seen his dad since he was a baby, and I hadn't seen my dad since I was a kid. I ain't seen him again until I was like 9, 10 or something like that. And I didn't live with him until I was 18. So, and I was happy, but it was already far gone. Like all the times that I really needed him in my life, all the times I really needed him in my life, he wasn't there. And I feel how my daughter feels because all the key points in her life, her 16th birthday, her first period, her boyfriend, first kiss, all that shit. I wasn't there for none of that. Her graduation, none of that. I wasn't there for none of that shit. And I can blame her mom for it, or I can blame myself. Either or, the blame go both ways, but I always try to be in her life. Her mom has made it rough for me. And that's the fucked up thing about that situation. Her mom's making it worse for me. Now, I'm going to take a break. I'm putting this song on called Dreams of Pounding. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's called Dreams of Pounding. I think it's called Dreams of Pounding on it, but I'm playing it. It's made by me, Music Maker Jam. Check it out, and I'll be right back. Yeah, that's Pounding on It. Made by me, Music Maker Jam. You know, I was on something when my mind was on a lot of things when I made that track there. But, it is what it is. I like making great beats. It's my inner producer and me doing stuff like that. So I'm kind of glad and thanks for Music Maker Jam for coming out with such an app where I can sit down and ponder my brain on some good music. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Shout out to Music Maker Jam for that. Uh, so back to the relationship with your children, and in relationship with your children's significant other, like your significant other or ex significant other, the baby mamas or the baby daddies. Look, if you um whatever, however the breakup is, you can't let that breakup affect you and use that kid as a ace in the hole, or use that as a tool. What's the word I want to use? You can't use that child, as a gambling chip when it comes to, a relationship. You can't do that. They got moms out there and dads that play those games. It's kind of jacked up. And you know, with my life and my situation, with my oldest son, who's now deceased, my mom took him, as I stated earlier, and my wife at the time think that I gave our son to my mom, and that caused rifts in our relationship for years. You know what I'm saying? For years and years and years, and that trickled over into my daughter, thinking that I did that, which is, my daughter feels some type of way. It is what it is. Not really tripping. Um, you just have to really make sure that you have that solid foundation, and keep the lines of communication open, and try to be cordial and try to be friends if anything, and make it right for the kid, because you can't be selfish and just have the kid to yourself and fill your kid up with a lot of false, sayings. If the dad is really a deadbeat and he's not really trying to do shit for his kids, then by all means send his ass to jail, throw him on child support, do what you need to do to get the support that you need. But if the dad is really want to be in the child's life and you want to make everything miserable times 10, that's fucked up. You don't see men doing that. Not, I hadn't seen no studies of men trying to keep, unless the baby mama was really shitty, or she was on drugs, or whatever the case may be. But just because they broke up, I'm gonna keep the kids from her. That's kind of fucked up. See, that's not a man's mentality. Unless the baby mama is a crackhead, a drug addict, a prostitute, or something like that. You know what I mean? Something to that nature. But if it's just because you broke up, I'm just gonna be nasty and I gotta take the kid and you're not gonna see her at all and all that shit. That's dumb. That's the dumbest shit ever. I don't think no man on this earth would do that. Don't need that type of drama. So, just saying. You gotta get your shit together and try to make it right, so you can have a relationship with them kids, so them kids don't grow up hating you, and then it trickles into their relationship, and just a trickle down effect, and it goes generation after generation. Me, I never really, really, really had true love, but once, twice in my life. It's hard for me to get the grasp of love. It's hard for me to get the understanding of what love really is when I hadn't had the nurturing of love. Like, yeah, I had my mom. She loved me. The mom love, where she had some strange ways of loving me, because our relationship is kind of topsy-turvy. But anyway, just, I don't know, man. Like I said, this conversation here, like I said, my daughter, she sent me through something right now, and it had me really think about it. And I said, I got to talk about it on this podcast. Talk about building a relationship with your child, and you got to have it before your child grow up hating you. And then how can you bounce back from that? Especially in the younger years, you got to really, really fine tune and be there in the growth process. I say be there from day one till they get out of high school and be there for the rest of their life. But at the same time, if it's not right, if you're not in a relationship with their mom, and I think you should be some way actively in that child's life. You know, in their growing up years before they become 10, and then start at 10 years old all up until they graduate, and then of course be in their life afterwards. But they don't need that much nurturing after that. They need you in those essential times. You know, a daughter need their dad, a son need their dad as well, or you have a mama's boy son. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, they need that. They need both sides of the spectrum. You know, they have the mom and they got all her ideologies, and then you got the dad that's out here being defamed because of what the baby mama is saying about him when it's not true. See, what I love about my son is all the dirty shit that she said about me, he wanted to see if it was true. And one by one, he see that it was not me, it was his mom. You know, just throwing shade, which was jacked up. You know, saying that I won't send him nothing. Well, every time I had extra money, I sent him whatever he needed. If he had it, I sent it. You know, even that was just me. I didn't know where my oldest son was because with the situation with my mom and I really didn't know where Abaya was, which is my daughter. Didn't know where she was at because, you know, the games that I was going through at the time. And then when you a man and you in a relation and you in a dysfunctional journey trying to get in your kids' life, sometimes a man would just say fuck it and give up and just focus on other shit and it make it seem like he don't care, but he just had to get if you put more energy on stress and stressed out about the relationship is not working, and this and that, these no's, I don't have my kids, and you keep letting that beat you down, you're not going to never get shit done. You know what I'm saying? So I came to that point in my life where it was not like I didn't give a fuck. It's not I didn't give a fuck mode, but I had to place my energies on other things and try to get me right so I can have it for them. That's why I built that whole journey to get When the Bell Rings done, and glad meeting Brad Boris, glad working on Film Independent to get on the Spirit Awards. Glad I met Jason Busey. You know what I'm saying? So that's what opened up the doors, and you know, glad that Trish Jackson came back and she's been the biggest supporter of my journey. You know what I'm saying? And she's a great mom to her kids, and I look at her like, damn, why I can't have a relationship with my kids like she had with hers? Although it's been, you know, I guess, you know, they got their checkered past or whatever the case may be, but from now as all her kids are adults, you know, it seems like it's moving like how I would love to have a relationship with my children. But like I said, my sons, they're cool. You know, my sons are cool. They're, like I said, Deshaun, I don't know, he's on something else right now, but hopefully, you know, he'll wake up and he'll see that, you know, I'm not out here trying to make him look bad or trying to destroy him in boxing and none of that stuff, you know. That's just a whole nother argument, another conversation, you know, with that. I'm not going to be that dad to force nothing upon you, no sports, no nothing. You know, all I expect of you to do good in school, make straight A's, that's it. If you make some B's, pull them B's up to A's. That's all I want, you know. But if he decide to want to play if you decide to want to get back into boxing or play football, you know, I support him. But right now, I'm just so pissed at him because of that disrespect yesterday. And then my youngest son, like I said, that's my little prince, little athlete. You know, Dez is he's a monster. The boy is going to be a monster, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with whatever sport he plays, if it's basketball, football, boxing. You know, he has a natural. He has the boxing skills natural. Yep. So, well, I'm going to take me another quick break. Take another break. Yeah, take another break. Yeah, I'm going to take another break. Well, this one here is called Love PTSD Part 2. This Love PTSD is Part 2. You know, post-traumatic stress, because I've been through a lot of post-traumatic stress when it comes to love and relationships, and I felt like I was on one at the time. That's why I made this track, so you check it out. Yeah, that's love PTSD. I stopped it a minute and 47 seconds earlier so I can get some more stuff off my mind while we're here. Um, yeah, I want to give some shouts out too. Actually, I want to shout out, um, everyone who supports When the Bell Rings, the 4-time award-winning documentary about my return to boxing after a 15-year hiatus. I want to shout out Antonio Tarver for being 47 years old and want to change and want to shock the world and become world champion, and beseech George Foreman for doing such things. I don't have a desire to be a heavyweight and fight heavyweight, but I do want to be a light heavyweight champion of the world. I want to do that. I would love to be light heavyweight champion of the world and beat Adonis Stevenson or a Kovalev or a Ward. Why not? I can do it. But what I'm saying, with the hiatus and I don't have no camp and nobody's really I'm training. Yeah, I'm training and I might have a fight coming up. It's not 100%. It's not written down in the books, but it's just talk. And now you got to train. You got to keep training, just in case you get the call so you can be there and be ready. Stay ready to keep from getting ready. So I remember I was trying to get something with Montel Griffin, but, that fell through. I want to do something with him. Then I want to do something with my boy Demon Brock. Shouts out to him and his journey and all the good things he got going on. But I want to do something with him, but he's so busy, so that's not that. I want to do something with Roy Jones, But that is what it is as well. I can get in there with the best of them and I can work and do my thing. Because I am one of the unknown best. My defense, when I'm in shape and I'm 100% in shape and doing my thing, my defense is untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been out the ring for so long and then I study so much and my attributes is, it's not like 100% like I was when I was in my 20s, but at the same time, I was a monster and I know I can still be a monster. I can have a fraction of that back. I don't have all the wear and tear on my body like back in the days, but back to the shout outs. Shout out Trish Jackson. She's been the strength and the guidance behind this whole entire journey. And her family. I will shout out to them, her daughters and her sons. I want to shout out to Nicole Snedeker. She was my crush in the 5th grade, and she will always be, a dear friend of mine. Someone that I couldn't get that tackle, someone I couldn't get that grasp. I was too scared to talk to when I was in school, because living with my mom and being known and quoted as a mama's boy and not really, I just didn't think I would ever have her as my woman back then. So, but time has passed and, it's whatever it is, what it is. She's a friend for life. I'm going to shout out to Alicia Bailey. She's a good friend. Known her for a long time. She's a supporter of When the Bell Rings. I want to give a shout out to Karen Davis. I want to give a shout out to Benji. She's a good friend of mine as well. Shout out to Lisa Forche. She's a good friend of mine. And, I want to give a shout out to Yolanda Kelly. I want to give a shout out to Lisa Thornton. I want to give a shout out to all the whole E-Town family, Eufaula, Alabama. All my associates in Eufaula, Georgetown, and Dothan, Clayton, Abbeville, Clio, all those areas. It's crazy, right? Columbus. I want to shout out to the Eufaula Tigers. E-Town Tigers, we got to do something this year, Eufaula. I just want to give shouts out to Jay, my best friend, Darnley Edgehill, my boy William Brown, Man, my cuz, Shouts out to all the people I came up with, Leo Hardy, the Hardy family. Every time I come to Chicago, I gotta see Mr. Hardy and Miss Hardy. Gotta see them. I looked up to Mr. Hardy like he was my dad, and although I was living with my daddy, but my daddy was, my pop was something else at the time, you know what I mean? Wasn't like a real father figure to me, so I looked up to Mr. Hardy. Mr. Hardy was a father that I always wanted, you know what I mean? Like Butch. I'm going to give a shout out to Butch Elliott, my coach. He was a father that I always wanted. You know, he's a father I never had. Butch Elliott, you know. J.W. Smith, I'm going to give a shout out to him. J-Dub, we give a shout out to him for the conversations, you know what I mean? You can come to football practice high and send me home, you know, it was craziness, you know, but the conversation gave me kind of woke me up. You know, I want to give a shout out to all the haters that said I can't do it to get back in the ring and do it again. You know, I want to give a shout out to the haters. Thank you for hating. If it wasn't for y'all hate, I won't be here. So thank you for the hate. The hate is awesome. I build and feed off the hate. I feed like it's fuel for my drive. You know, shout out to Tanya Kersey, shout out to Lance Nichols, Zardis Nichols, Voice, and the Nichols family, all the whole Nichols family. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to all of them, everybody. I want to give a shout out to, you know, I already said shout out to Andrew Blood, you know, Joan DeLauro, my whole second team camp, Prison Break, you know, Swisco, what's up, dude? You know, it's been a good thing, you know, doing my thing here, trying to you know, move around, and on this journey it's been rough. It's been a tough journey, you know, trying to get to this next level. You know, being a father, trying to be a better father to my kids than mine was to me. You know, it's a tough journey, but I got to do it and keep pushing through the naysayers, through all the filtering hates. You know, I'm an unsung champion. You know, I have tons of scripts I've written. I'm writing these screenplays. I have no words at all. I'm trying to get off the ground. I got a TV pilot I'm working. My career coach said, you don't work on a pilot right now. It's hard to get it on air. And when she tell me it's hard to get on air, it makes me want to push harder to do it. You know what I mean? Because I want to show her that I'm going to get this TV pilot on some network or on Netflix. You know what I mean? Don't focus on that. That's not, it's hard. You got to know a showrunner and these, no, not disrespecting her or nothing like that. It's just when she tells me that, it gives me fuel to want to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already writing on episode 1 of the pilot, because I did the pilot already and I'm writing the episode 1. I'm almost finished that, and I'm be working on episode 2 and trying to push no words at all. Like, I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of scripts that I want to get done. Ambient Path Entertainment is a film company owned by me and Trish Jackson, and we're gonna make strong films. It's a company that's gonna make strong films, stuff that's gonna have you open your mind and make you think. You know, Ambient Path Entertainment, formerly known as Crossing Path Entertainment. You know, well, I had a company that's called Crossing Path, and I bad memories with it. And I didn't want to have Crossing Path anymore, so that's why Ambient Path was born. And I like Ambient Path, and it's gonna do a lot. So yeah, I hope y'all like these shows, man. I'm gonna have more shows. Hopefully I can get to the point where I can do interviews and, you know, and talk to some people, and you can interview me. I have a good interview right now. You can go to my Twitter at Dino Wells. You can see I got interviewed by Consciousness Magazine. Shouts out to Consciousness Magazine, and shouts out to everyone who gave me interviews this year. You know, everyone from Denny Live to Chris Ripka to my Jamaican friend. I can't think his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it out. I got so much on my mind. Stephen Keepers. Oh man, I had so many interviews I had this year. I had the Butterfly lady. She gave me a nice interview. I hadn't seen that one yet. You know, the Q the brand. She interviewed me. Beauty Bubble. It was an unofficial interview, but she interviewed me. You know, cause shouts out to Beauty Bubble. It was unofficial, but it was still an interview. That's why we had that rapport. You know, shouts out to, I'm trying to think what's the other gentleman's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. My goodness, it was a great interview. Man, I'm sitting in my room in the dark, so I don't have no notes. I'm doing all this off the top of my brain right now. But I got interviewed by a lot of people this year, and I'm waiting on the top tier interviews. I want to get on the shows like Ellen DeGeneres and the late night shows, and I want to get Steve Harvey and stuff like that. I want to get those big ones too. But that's crawl before I walk. It's gonna come. I'm not worried about it. It's gonna get there. The world gonna know who I am. Shout out to Michael and Joy. She gave me a shout out. Shout out to Al Be Sure. I think I gave those shouts out already on the last episode, but I had to shout them out. I'm still thinking of this other venue. I feel bad. I can't get it. Oh my goodness. What is his? I apologize. I want to say Michael. Oh man, I can't remember his name, but hey, it was an awesome interview, and everyone who interviewed me this year, I want to say thank you all. Y'all, it was awesome. I have more interviews to come. My latest interview is through Consciousness Magazine. Check that out on my Twitter right now. Go to @Dino Wells, or just go to my Twitter and look at my about me section, and you can see more about me on that section right there as well. I love you all. Episode 6 will be coming soon. I'm gonna have a topic for that one, and we're just gonna keep it going. All right? Yeah. Brought to you by Dino Wells.